Hi everyone, this tutorial is regarding sorting algorithm. There are many different types of sorting algorithms, but for today's tutorial we're going to be looking at bubble sort, which I'm going to explain that to you in a minute. Now, sorting algorithm in computer science, a sorting algorithm is an algorithm that puts element of a list into an order. So basically you just put it in a correct order. Now, the most frequently used orders are numerical order or alphabetical order, and either ascending or descending. So basically, we are looking for from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or could be also -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Or also you can do it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. So the like I said, there are different types of sorting algorithms. We have binary sort, we have bubble sort, and these other ones, but for today's we're going to be focusing only on bubble sort. Now, bubble sort is a simple sorting algorithm. This sorting algorithm is comparison-based algorithm. So it does it just compare, which I'm going to explain that to you in a minute. So this sorting algorithm is comparison-based algorithm in which each pair of adjacent element is compared and the elements are swapped if they are not in order. So what it basically does, so for example, let's look at these elements. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. So we have 5, 1, 4, 2, 8. So we know for sure 5 is larger than 1. So what it does is swap those two elements. It compare 5 and 1 and checks which one is bigger and then switches the element. So it becomes 1, 5 and then continue without swapping the other ones the same time. 4, 2, 8. And then checks again, go back to the start and then looks. As you can see, why here we have them first pass, second pass, third pass, fourth pass, because as you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why here we have the first pass, and then move on to the second pass, and then move on to the third pass, and then fourth pass. So in the first pass here, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's first one switched. Then move on, the second one. So 1 and 5 done earlier. And now it looks at basically 5 and 4. 5 obviously is larger than 4. Then what it does is swap those two elements and then continues to 8. And then goes back again and then looks, okay, now 1, 4 is fine, 4 and 5 is fine. Now 5 and 2 again and switches, swap 5 and 2. So it becomes 1, 4, 2, 5, 8. Then it looks at 1, 4, 2, 5, and 8. So as you can see here, it's not going to switch the 5 and 8 because obviously 8 is bigger than 5. So what it does now, start again and then looks at 1 and 4. Okay, that's fine. Now it looks at 4 and 2. Obviously 4 is larger than 2. And then what it does is swap. Then it becomes 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. Then here we have no more swap. So as you can see here, the first pass, we kind of compare the two elements and then swap. And when we compare two elements and then we see there's no point to swap, then you don't need to swap. You just move on to the next two elements. So this is basically a bubble sort. So here we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, no swap. Then 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. So now we move on to the third pass, which is 2, 4, 5, 8. Again, no swap. And then we look at 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, no swap. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. It just all it does is just keep comparing two elements and then swapping the ones. And then when it compares, so let's say in here, as you can see, because this in purple, because it's comparing as the algorithm going through the instructions is comparing two elements at a time, and there's no swap, and continues to compare two elements until completes the first list, and then goes back again and start comparing again the two elements. But all this done in a quite fast pace. And then by the end, you will have the actual, the final sorting, which is 1, 2, 4, 5, 8 in this example. So for example, also this is from your tutorials on the university website. So we have the numbers -7, 5, 30, -30. So here what it does, it will basically look at the first pass. So we'll compare the -7 and 5. There's no swap here, so it doesn't need to swap the -7 and 5, these two elements, because 5 is larger than -7, so stays as it is, and then moves on, and then becomes -7, 5, -30, and then goes back again into the second pass. Now it looks, these are fine, then moves on to the next one. Then it starts comparing basically the 5 and -30. Obviously, the 5 larger than -30, then what it does is swap, so it becomes -7, -30, and then 5, and then goes back again, and then we'll look at -5 and -30, and then swap, so it becomes -7, it's sorry, -30, -7, 7, 5, and so on. So let's look at this algorithm, okay, which in a minute I'm going to show you how this also done in Python. So if you look in here, so we have the list offset for the first pass. So here we go. So this is again from the university website. As you can see here, this is the first pass. Okay, the instruction for the first pass here is load first two values, compare these first two values, and then do the swap. If you can see here, we're using condition. If the left is greater than the right element, so if the left element is greater than the right element, then switch. Okay, this is here where you use if, and this one here fi to basically to end the if statement. And then we load the next two values. Again, we compare these two elements, and then if left is greater than the right, then a switch. Also, you could say if basically the right is smaller than the left, then you do the switch, and then you end the statement for the first pass, and so on. You move on. It depends on how long is your list. That's why in a minute when I show you in Python, we just use loop, and loop does all the work rather than we keep using if statement in terms of comparing these two values. So let's have a look here. We have these data, -2, 45, 0, 11, and -9. So here we define the bubble sort array. Okay, array is basically data structure where it's a list of data, and then these are the data. Okay, that's what we call it, array. So here we're using for. So here we loop. So for I in range, the length of the array. So here what we're doing, so we loop to access each array element. Don't worry too much if you don't understand the coding bit of it. You just need to understand the structure, how it's happening. And then for j in range 0 to length and of array, and then I, which we got it from here, -1, because here what we're doing, we compare two element adjacent, the ones who are next to each others, and then we change these element. So if I show you now, if I take this for example, hashtag here, we have hashtag here, just comment. So if I go there, and then if I run it, as you can see here, what are we trying to do? We're trying to out -2, 45, 0, 11, -9. So obviously it's got to be -9, -2, 0, 11, 45. Then if I run it, as you can see, -9, -2, 0, 11, 45, and this is sorted array in ascending order.